Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we bring you Season 2, Episode 5, Breakage, written by Moira Wally Beckett and directed by Johan Renck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bad Crystal. We're here for another week, and we are covering episode 5 of season 2, Breakage. Apologies if I sound a little different. That is my fan running in the background because it is 95 degrees Fahrenheit and at 10:30 in the morning. So we are very closely approaching our summer period, and it is not going to be fun, dude. We had like huge bushfires really close to this time of last year. And I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon this summer. So, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's all nice.
Why do you start? Why did you start the episode off? It's hot. Everybody burns.
Dude, the heat is the only thing on my mind. Colin, how you doing, man? What's happening?
I'm doing good, buddy. I am. It's nice, cool. Low 60s.
Fuck
we have no.
Fuck you.
No, it has been getting cold. Like super, super cold in the mornings recently because now it's getting later in the year, and it's not freezing. Today was actually like I was walking around in shorts walking my dog, but at the same time it's like, dude, that's just the way Tennessee is. It can be raining and cats and dogs sideways at 60 miles an hour. 15 minutes later it'd be like sunny and 70. It's so crazy, but I'm good.
Sydney gets like that. Yeah. No, that's good. It's good to know. Good to know. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Bad Crystal. We're going to be going through episode 5 of season 2 called Breakage. I don't know why you're joining us here for the first time at episode 5, but if you are, please follow us on Facebook. We have the After Party, which is where we post all of our memes, news, and tease of what's to come here on Bad Crystal and Midnight Double Feature, which is our main feed. Midnight Double Feature, by the way, if you haven't listened to it, that's where we cover movies, and that's where we cover trailers and upcoming things. We have not announced this on our Facebook page, but I guess by the time this comes out, we will have already done it. We are covering Stand By Me, which is the next movie.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, that doesn't date the podcast at all.
You're right. It's so crazy thinking about in different times. I'm like, when this comes out, I'll have been me, but in the future, but like 2 weeks ago. It's so crazy.
Exactly. And I'm a day ahead of you, so I don't know how that works.
It's like Christmas for you, and it's like fucking New Year's Eve for me. I don't know. It's crazy shit.
Exactly. But if you want to hear more from us, head to patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature, where you can become a member of the Green Room. So the Green Room is where all of our members come together to chip in $5 buckaroos a month and help us keep the lights on here at Bad Crystal and Midnight Double Feature. Because, this shit ain't free, man. And we have
it's of little to no cost, but it's not free.
Right. Exactly. We have a great supporting fan base, and we are really, really excited to bring you guys more stuff. So thank you so much for everyone who's already joined. Thank you so much to everyone who is considering it. Head to patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature, or if you want to do anything at all whatsoever, head to midnightdoublefeature.com. That's our main hub where you can find literally everything, all of our links to our merch, to Patreon, to Facebook, to Instagram, wherever. Guys, let's get into this. Let's get into episode 5, season 2, Breakage. Quick recap of last week's episode. So we left with Walt and Skylar kind of on the outs a little bit. Skylar's, very suspicious of what's going on. She really wants the truth. And Walt is just not going to give it to her. He is just planting his feet in the ground and being like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not telling you shit. Meanwhile, Jesse got kicked out by his parents. He got evicted, so he's really, really he's wanting to find something new. He's wanting to find somewhere to plant his, feet again. And yeah, we go from there. And we start seeing this new side of Hank, right? Like, so I guess like the softer side of Hank, the side of Hank that is not the jockey kind of like,
Hey guys,
high
what's going
school
on?
footballer. Exactly. And that really kind of comes to a head, or really starts coming to a head in this episode, Breakage. I think, honestly, this is a fantastic episode for Hank.
Yeah.
Like, we really start to see different layers of him. Let's get into our overall episode thoughts. Colin, hit me with your thoughts of Breakage.
It's all right. No, I'm just kidding. This one's cool. I really there's a lot of stuff that happens, and then there's not a lot of stuff that happens. It seems like it's a good episode for Jesse. It's a good episode for Walt. It's a good episode for Walt and Skyler, for Marie, for Hank, for everybody really except Walt Jr. Everybody kind of has like a bit of like kick on the radar. They spike a little bit, and I was like, man, that's cool. More so Jesse and Hank. Most important is the fact that we actually kind of see something for the first time that kind of paints Hank as like, I guess PTSD, or, he's kind of freaked out by this. And it's like, man, I think it's also
like
just
a
something.
three-dimensional human, right? Like not someone who's just like something from a Michael Bay film, right?
Yeah,
like something
right. Well,
with a little bit of depth.
The thing with Hank is kind of like, at first, yeah, he is this kind of like two-dimensional, just kind of bro. But at the same time, I think as he's getting older, he's like, I was like almost murdered, and then I had to kill that guy in return. Like, especially as you get older, I feel like that stuff, it was a lot easier for me. And when I was younger, to watch people just get like eviscerated in horror movies. Now it's like a little bit harder. And I'm like, just my understanding of that is like a little bit more matured. And it's like, I think that might be something that's going through. But that's my favorite part of this episode, is the stuff that's going on with Hank. But it's a good episode for everybody, and I like it because there's not a gunfight, there's no conflict, there's no ramming an RV through the front of a impound lot. It's kind of a mellow episode where a lot happens.
Right, exactly. I actually really, really dug this episode, man. Like, this is a fantastic episode because we see more of kind of like Walt's cowardice. We get a bit more of like Walt's sort of like peeling away of the layers and unveiling the monster beneath that is Heisenberg. We are very explicitly seeing moments where he is now starting to not manipulate Jesse, but like directly influence Jesse's actions into something darker. Like when we end with the episode, he literally gives him a gun and he says, "Take care of it, handle it." Right. So that to me is such a step forward for the character of Walt, to where Vince Gilligan wants him to go, right? So, it's for me, it's like, it's not kind of like a holding episode. Like, it's kind of like one of those ones where we are taking a significant step into the darkness for Walt. And we also discover that out of all of our characters, especially Walt and Jesse, who have, killed out of, I guess, necessity, it's Hank who's unable to deal with violence, which is interesting to me because Hank is an academy-trained, special agent, federal agent, right? So it's interesting to me that Hank is the one who is unable to deal with violence, whereas Jesse and Walt can more or less kill someone like Crazy 8 and go home and sleep soundly at night. Granted, that probably didn't happen as cleanly as possible, but they didn't have Hank's kind of reaction where, you hear a sound outside, you're going to get your gun and just start.
Let me ask you this. And if this ruins anything for future episodes, obviously, but is it him having to kill somebody, or is it somebody shooting at him like he got shot at?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he's, yes. So that's actually a good question. And I don't think it ruins anything coming up because this is all interpretation, right? So like we are, and this is not a spoiler, we are going to start going down. We're going to start to see a lot more of Hank's kind of like, vulnerability, right? We are going to start seeing that because that's Hank's character, right? Like the way Hank is set up in episode 1 of the pilot, that is not the way we see him the way the show ends, that is a whole character arc.
Nor should it be. If he were the same guy, I'd be like, that character sucked. That guy's the same guy.
Exactly. But and it's funny to me because Hank is, while he's unable to deal with violence, he's really trying his damnedest to cover it up. He's really, really trying to uphold that imagery and like analogy that he is this, indestructible man. Like he is this guy that everyone looks up to and, pats on the back and saying, "Good job, Slugger. Well done. You got that fucking bad guy." And he is really, really desperately trying to keep up the facade. much like Walt. You know, it's really interesting the mirror between Walt and Hank, and they're both of their kind of like split kind of like psyche or personality, and just how they go about trying to kind of keep up the facade on each end. It's really fascinating to me, and like this is stuff that I didn't really pick up on my first watch, dude. It took me ages to kind of like get that. Yeah, so it's good stuff, man. Like it's actually amazing writing in my opinion. But let's get into this. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Awesome. So we start off with this cold open. I dig this cold open, man. It's so ominous, raises a bunch of questions. Like we get these two crossing the border from Mexico to the US, or maybe the other way. Why? Hit me, motherfucker.
No, I don't love it. And I tell you why. I'm getting a little burnout on these because it's like, it doesn't happen all the time, but this has happened enough times where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like another one of these. But it's just because they've hit us with the teddy bear in the pool twice. And by the way, bear in mind, if you don't know the rules of this podcast, I've never seen any of these episodes before. This is the first time I've seen it. And henceforth, and I won't know what the next one is until next time. But my issue is just like, I've seen this thing like 4 or 5 times now. And I've seen it a lot. Like the first episode is that. And I'm like, and it's cool and I like it, but I don't want it to become a gimmick or like a trademark of the show. Like, oh, see, they did a Breaking Bad there. And it's like, you did not show the thing at the end and then it comes around to be ironic or something later, you know? I don't know. I don't hate it, but I was just a little bit like, you know what? I could just do like a straight drop. I could go for that just, as an episode because I'm seeing this a lot.
Interesting, because
your face, you're like, this ain't gonna, this train ain't never gonna stop, bitch. Bend over, Abigail May.
I gotta temper your expectations because, and not a spoiler, we are gonna get more of these. And okay, but like, here's the thing, I dig them, man. Like, I like when a show in its opening minutes makes me question, what the fuck is that? Like, why is Tuco's grill that was gifted to Hank, that is safe and sound in his office, floating in a river? Like, that, to me, it's like, what the fuck happened to Hank? Like, it's like, oh shit. Like, so like when it comes to things like that like if it's doing it for like just like a creativity sake, I agree with you. Like, it's a little meh, I don't know. But when it starts to like raise questions to me, like when it starts to, like, as a viewer, it starts to, I don't know, it's for me, it's like engaging, right? Like for me, it's just like, all right, we're in for another week of Breaking Bad. Here we fucking go.
Right.
Hopefully we get the answer eventually, right? Which we do in this episode.
Here's what I would say is I enjoy them, but like the one with the when Walter blows the building up, and I was like, see, that one was cool because it ended with something huge, like the shootout with Tuco. That one was cool, but this one is just kind of like, oh, so he just kind of went in the river and threw it in there. I was like, well, okay, you kind of like got me psyched up for something that wasn't really there. I thought it was going to be something a little bit more, because the episodes thus far have been like, it's something big that happens,
It's definitely, yeah, I agree. It's definitely not the strongest cold open. I like, as much as I do like it, it's not the strongest one. We will get 2 other ones. I think that one where he, threw the crystal meth and he's like, this is not meth. Like, I think that is one of the strongest one that you said in season 1. But yeah, I agree that this one's a little random. I
was gonna say, if they keep growing in intensity, then the one I haven't seen with the little animal in the pool is gonna be like the Holocaust or something. It's just gonna be something insane, because I'm just like, oh shit, like it just keeps getting. You've seen that one like twice and they still haven't explained it. So see, this is the joy of you as the listener is listening to this, going, you fucking guys, this thing, and it's like, I can't hear you.
The next character to be introduced to the show is Schmadolf Schmittler with like a fucking mustache.
He has a mustache, but it's only shaved in the middle. It's like a reverse Hitler. He just has like the sides.
It's Hitler from the fucking Upside Down or some shit.
Right.
But yeah, man, like, again, I don't mind it. I dig the, okay, here's what it is for me. I dig the cinematography and the music. Like, like, it's just like, it's shot like a goddamn film. Like, like, this was coming out during the time of stuff like Prison Break and Lost, and, things were very networky, like there was no Game of Thrones at this time. So like, seeing something like this that was kind of like a cut above that, like, it was obviously like kind of like film level quality. Like this Breaking Bad.
This feels like an HBO show.
Absolutely. And it was instrumental in like changing the way we film, like we see TV now, right? Because like the line between TV and film is like super blurred, right? Like, so, all these like big actors are now coming into film, TV and vice versa. And it's just, yeah. Just quickly, by the way, speaking of HBO, I want to talk about the director, Johan Renck. So Johan Renck directed this episode of Breaking Bad and directed every episode of Chernobyl, right?
Ooh.
So he is a golden child of HBO's. And he's also directing, along with the creator of Chernobyl, Craig Mazin, the Last of Us TV show that's based on the games.
Oh, that's very cool.
Which actually news just broke was picked up by HBO as a full series order. So,
dude, I'm
just going to be wild.
The Fallout show that's being built by the people from Westworld on Amazon Prime. I'm like, dude, if that fizzles out, that will be really disappointing. But yeah, no, that's really cool. And like, there's something, about the show that just, it feels HBO, and there's something about that where it's like, once you see something on HBO, it's kind of a weird feeling of like, it can't be bad. There's like a trust in HBO there's something inherent. As someone who just got HBO this year, that I'm like, oh shit, like there's, Chernobyl, which by the way, Chernobyl, I kind of want to kick around the idea of doing the season, just doing, 8 episodes and just doing
fucking down.
I am so down. 5, dude. Oh yeah. We can bang that out in like 2 feature presentations or something. But dude, yeah, I am totally down to do that, especially 5 episodes. Like, come on, what is it, an hour each? Was it like a 5-hour long movie?
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to the Midnight Double feature episode we did, I think end of last year, we talked about like the best 5 things that we kind of saw or like did or like experienced. That was my number 1. I'm all aboard that show, man. It is incredible. But turning back to Breaking Bad,
back to this
fucking terrible show that is Breaking Bad. We get the title card, and then we get this amazing opening shot with the close-up of the chemo. Like this, dude, this looks incredibly like dreamlike, and I'm sure it's supposed to kind of like emulate the feeling of actually being on chemo. Like it's just so like even the music is kind of like dreamlike, right? It feels like you're on a different plane, different dimension.
It felt like Requiem for a Dream. Like it felt like this very dreamy. There's actually a shot of the woman from The Exorcist. I'm blanking on her name. The mom, Ellen Burstyn. Yeah, of her walking down the street and she's normal and everybody else is just like blurs around her. It's such an iconic shot, but it's the first thing it made me think of.
Yeah. You know what, man? I always get mixed up with Requiem for a Dream and Trainspotting because both of those movies were so deeply disturbing.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the dead guy in Trainspotting who's like better than sex. And he's like crawling across the wall and the baby on the ceiling.
Good God,
that's a good movie, though. God, choose life, choose drink. He's like, I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's, I fucking love that movie.
Danny Boyle, man. He kills it. He's awesome. So we get this time lapse shot of Walt just sitting there as people come and go. Did you notice the empty chair across from him? Right? I mean, like it's just kind of like a lonely existence because Skylar's not visiting him anymore, right? Like it's not like how it was. Like she is, when he comes home, she is concerned, right? Like she is calling people, but she is not as concerned as she was initially, and that really kind of comes across in this time lapse shot of like everyone being visited by their loved ones except Walt.
See, yeah, I didn't catch it until he was in the office, and I was like, "Oh, he's sitting alone." And it's like, shit, I was clever. I was like, "Oh, he's sitting alone." I noticed that right away, and then I'm like, "Oh, he's been alone for like 5 minutes." I didn't even catch it.
Well, I mean, like this is like we're here, right? So he talks to Dr. Del Cavoli, and there's no more confusion. Walt says absolutely not. Walt lies to him and says that he and Skylar are all good, and it's kind of like that he's trying to convince himself. That we're all good kind of thing. Like you can hear it in his voice. It's just like, no, we're all good. We're all good. I'm sure we're all good kind of thing. He's checking out. The receptionist prints a receipt as long as my dick. I love the awkward look they give to each other as it just keeps printing. Right?
Stop making eye contact with him. Jesus. I expected her just eye fucking him, just staring, just like, so you got cancer? Just like, lady, fuck off. You're just staring me in the eyes.
She's just looking at him being like, I know you can't afford this. This is America. Right. God damn it.
Yeah. I'd hate to have that lady's job.
Walt takes a look at the receipt and asks about the cash discount. It's included, she says. Oh, baby.
Jesus.
Then she hands him a badge saying hope is the best medicine, which Walt immediately dumps in the garbage. Super metaphorical, by the way.
Well, that and you give a guy with like stage 4 cancer a $13,000 bill and say, hey, here's a little bit of hope for you. Like, oh, is it a bullet and a gun? Oh, great. Like, you fucking bitch, give me this button.
I would have rather the fucking lollipop, dude. Like, give me some candy or some shit that I might actually enjoy.
Right.
Walt comes home to Scarlett on the phone to a bitch, apparently. The hospital bill came, $13,000 and counting for a 3-day stay. Where did you stay? Where did you stay at the goddamn Holiday Inn? Like, what is this?
Right. You stayed at, like, the Plaza Hotel or something?
Right. Walt's lie. But, I mean, like, look, this actually says a lot to me, right? I mean, like, Walt's lie is pricey, and it's ironic that his lie connected to his cooking is eating into his rewards from his cooking. Like, you know, it's just, like, the irony of that all coming full circle, you know? Like, shit, I gotta, like, why am I doing this in the first place? You know, it's good stuff. Walt says, I'll handle it, and he lies awake. He lies awake at night, then he slips on his slippers to make the cash withdrawal from the vent. He's frustrated about how little money is left after paying the hospital bill, and he's throwing up on his knees, clogs the toilet. While plunging the toilet, he finds an old pack of smokes.
Oh, why would flushing a pack? You might as well put a sock in the toilet and flush it. Flushing a pack of cigarettes, like,
it's
you don't
not
have a
the
trash
smartest
can?
idea, is it?
No.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, not even a trash can. Just like, you know, just wait for bin day and put it in your neighbor's bin, right?
Right.
I mean,
right. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm gonna flush him down the toilet. It's like if you were in the bathroom getting caught smoking a cigarette, like, yeah, but no, no, I don't think so.
It's still harrowing for me to watch Bryan Cranston's performance when he's sick like this and throwing up. It's just he sells it so well. Like, you know, he's so good at this stuff.
Right. And we haven't seen one of these scenes in a minute of him being like sick, like since kind of the first season where it was like really hitting it hard, and now it's like a reminder of like, oh fuck yeah, he's still. You know, you kind of forget about it for a minute.
Right. He's still extremely vulnerable. Hank keeps staring at Tuco's grill, just sitting there on his desk. I love the way when he gets up, he tries to cover it with a newspaper as he leaves the office.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you know,
a fucking weird thing to have. I'm sorry. That's
nice
weird.
Little touch. It is, man. It's super, like, I think we talked about this on the episode that, you know, when they presented it to him, it is super morbid.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, you know, but here's the thing. It makes sense for someone as, I guess, alpha male like Hank that he kind of presents himself to be to have something like that. Like, you know, like this is a trophy, guy who, exactly, this is a guy who, like, this is the way that he presents himself to other people. I'm not saying that this is the actual Hank that we come to know. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who, when he goes hunting, he puts deer heads on the walls, right? Like, I mean, like he is proud of what he's killed, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, like he says, you're a great white, like you're a predator. Like that's so, I don't know, it's just so strange to me.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So he's talking to his boss here. He tells his boss that things are quiet. They keep hearing a name, Heisenberg. And apparently it's a Tweaker urban legend.
Oh, that's my palm started to itch. I was like, oh no, like he's already starting to like. Again, I feel like he's like the Marines and Aliens when they see like a boop on the radar, but it's all the way up at the top, like it's real far away. But you're like, you're getting there though. Like already, you're like you can. The burner is not quite lit, but you feel the warmth like starting. It's like, oh no, that's well. And the thing of the
stuff, man.
A Tweaker urban legend, like dude, like so basically Walter White is like the Slender Man of meth, and that is so fucking cool. And it's the fact that Walter White in and of itself, if he were like. You know, if he used his real name, would sound like a fake name. Walter White sounds like, you know, whatever. What are you, Reservoir Dogs? But Heisenberg just has this, like, this isn't some, like, yeah, my name's Crazy 8, or, oh, my name's, you know, Loco Puto or something, yeah, whatever. But it's like, no, Heisenberg. Like, I'm, like, some German-ass sounding fucking name coming out of New Mexico, like, okay, like that's kind of strange. You can tell even the name in and of itself rings to like this guy's not from around here, and that's very true. He's not from this world at all.
No, absolutely, man. And like it kind of, man, like this is the guy they're talking about here in this meeting is the guy in literally the last scene we just saw curled up on the, you know, toilet floor throwing up his guts.
Right.
Like, you know, like when you think about that way, it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like Hank's got no idea. And there's a level of kind of like overestimating here. Like, you know, you're kind of overestimating Walt's or Heisenberg's kind of like proficiency.
Yeah.
But we know that, just the fact that Heisenberg, the name Heisenberg, is able to reach someone like Hank and reach someone like Hank's boss, Walt is proficient, right? What they are doing is effective because all of these tweakers are, throwing up this name, right? That they're hearing on the streets.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So we get the shark analogy. He calls Hank a great white and offers him a promotion. Albuquerque liaison, tri-state border interdiction task force.
Jesus.
That is.
I love. He's like, you got to get a shorter name for that. He's like, we're called Schifferskinkognlibert. Like that just doesn't make any sense. Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shield.
You can call it Shield. God damn it! Fuck you, man.
That's what I was making fun of. Is at the end of like Iron Man, where he's like, yeah, you got to come up with a nickname. Yeah, we're called Schifferskinkognlibert. Like something doesn't make any sense.
Hank will be splitting his time between ABQ and El Paso. This thing in the elevator, right? It's incredible as we see Hank's confidence kind of get shot to shit here. Like he starts hyperventilating, furiously presses for the elevator buttons. He's doubling over. And man, like it's good stuff the way that we frame this because like as he's walking towards the elevator, he's talking to his coworkers and they're all patting him on the back. They're telling him what a good job he did. And he's got the walk, right? Like he's got the alpha male macho walk, right? And it's so beautiful to see when the elevators close, he gets claustrophobic and he starts becoming the person that he actually is in real life. And it's fascinating to me. I love that.
Right, yeah. The facade is just like cracked. Like I enjoyed that a lot of in your own private moments being like, I'm like, oh, it's kind of excellent. I'm like, yeah, like I know it's kind of fucked up, but it's like it's kind of
like Batman, right? Like he's literally kind of like putting on this like this cape and cowl, and Bruce Wayne's not a bitch, but like it's imagine if Bruce Wayne was a bitch.
Right.
Ding, door opens, he takes a few deep breaths, goes right back into Hank mode again, and again there's a level of theatricality here, much like Walt, right? Like much like like I am going to spin these lies to save face, to not destroy my reputation. Jesse returns to Clovis and pays him the outstanding balance plus money for the damage he caused. He says, my word is my bond. And this is, what do you think about this? This is, I dig this. This is a great moment from Jesse, right?
Yeah, I actually do. And I think that, a lot of shit happened last episode where it's like now it's damage control. And as he's, also as he's doing that, he's like, this is somebody that could, be if he thought this guy were just going to blow his ass in half as soon as he showed up, he would never go there. But he's like, I know that I could probably, this is a resource that I can use and might as well, if it's here, use it, and maybe kind of, and plus you don't want this guy after you, that RV's kind of hard to hide. But yeah, I like it. I think it's, I think Jesse deep down does want to do the right thing. I think his intentions, he means really well most of the time, like I don't think he really ever wants to murder anybody and he really wants to do anything bad, but it just ends up being a byproduct of like, the things that he's involved in,
Absolutely. I think you 100% hit the nail on the head. He wants to store the RV there. Again, like you said, he's trying to use Clovis as a resource and attempts to negotiate with Clovis. He says $500 a week to store it there, to which Jesse reluctantly agrees. Inside, padlocked, and gate privileges. Jesse asks about the car. He'll take the shitty old Toyota Tercel. I love how he's like, what about that one? And Clovis is just like, seriously?
I liked it, man. I think it shows low profile. It shows like, hey, man, he even says that later on. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. And that's like, what is that movie with Denzel Washington? American Gangster, where his wife is wearing the fur coat and he throws it in the fire and shit. And it's like, yeah, you got to keep a low profile. I'm like, I dig it. Yeah.
Well, it's like Goodfellas, right? Like, I mean, Jimmy Conway,
take
Robert
it back.
De Niro.
Fucking take it back.
Take it back. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? He's like,
Car's my mother's name. What'd you say? What'd you say?
He does the double finger point, right?
Yeah. Take it back. Take it back.
Right. We cut to Jesse arriving at his new place, and we meet Jane, played by Kristen Ritter. She went on to play Jessica Jones in the Marvel TV shows, which is, she was great in those, by the way.
I was wondering when she was going to pop up because I knew she was in here somewhere, but I didn't know when. I honestly thought it was going to be later on. I thought it was going to be season 3, maybe like middle of season 3. And I was like, shit, this is coming early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what she's wearing here as well, it's so on point for what I imagined this character would be wearing, right? Like the all blacks with the eccentric belt buckle. Like, you know, I dig, that's something we don't really harp on enough is kind of like the costume choices that the show makes. I think it's fantastic and really, really on point.
Yeah, especially with the younger people. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse's interested in the place. No smoking, no pets. He likes the hardwood. He's currently in between situations. She withdraws and says that her dad is not a, quote, make exceptions kind of guy. And Jesse says, I got nowhere else to go and I got no game. I just need a chance. He comes clean about his folks kicking him out. And he says, in pure Jesse fashion, now I'm persona non gratis.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, what is he attempting to say versus what he is actually saying? I didn't catch it.
Persona non grata is the figure of speech, and he's just of course he fucks it up like because he doesn't know Latin for shit.
I was gonna say I didn't know even what the hell he was referring to. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like fugitive, right? Like, I mean, like it's kind of like persona non grata. No, nobody wants you, sort of thing.
Oh, gotcha. She'll
allow it for $100 a month. She's an extortionist, and there's a DBAA fee. Right? Don't be an asshole for fee.
Well, one thing I'm noticing, and to jump in real quick, is the thing of the people that would not normally do something are willing to, as long as they're not personally involved. You're seeing a lot of people that will kind of look the other way, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, mostly it's because of money, right? I mean, like the incentive is money, right? Like, you know, often. We got Clovis, right? Like Clovis is someone. I'm not saying that he's someone who's willing to bend the rules, like who's not willing to bend the rules, but he is to store Jesse's RV there for a risk for more money, right? Whereas here, Jane, she is willing to take more of a risk for money, right? Like, I mean, like money in this show is really, really, I mean, you know, like it is in life, a thing that is driving people to make the worst decisions.
Right. Well, even Clovis, you know, he was going to sell everything in the RV, and he's like, how much money can I get for it? I'm like, dude, you are a bitch. You are an asshole, man.
He says his name is Jesse Jackson, and we leave this scene with some longing looks, right? She's looking at him. I
thought she was going to say, yeah, my name's Al Sharpton. Like, I was like, but yeah, I dig this because as she's walking down the hallway, you see Jesse like bite his head. He's like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, she is pretty fucking smoking hot.
Oh yeah. She's the one I was referring to, right? Like, I think a couple episodes back, you were like, yeah, Marie's fucking hot in this season. And I'm just like, well, hold on.
Yeah, just wait.
just wait. We see Hank making his beer. Do you know what his beer's name is?
No, I couldn't quite see it.
Dude, Schrader Brow.
I like it. Schrader Brow.
I love it. I
dig it.
I love it so much.
Eating a brat and drinking a Schrader Brow. Like,
that's
awesome,
cool. Dude.
It rolls off the tongue well.
Absolutely. It's interesting how we open on this scene, though, right? Like, I mean, because if you like the way they shoot this, right? The way Michael Slovis shoots this, it's really close-ups of what looks like lab equipment, and we don't see who the person whistling is. We don't see like the parallel between Walt and Hank. It couldn't be any more overt, right? Like, it couldn't be any more. Here it is. It's obvious in your face. These are two very similar people who have taken two very different paths. And oh man, I really, really appreciated the way they shot this.
Right, and both like sick men at the moment, like both like on the sidelines having, you know, fucking like personal hells on the sidelines away from prying eyes. I like that distinction.
Absolutely. Marie enters. She's not a fan of the brewing. Called in sick the day after receiving a promotion, so he can play Oktoberfest in his man cave. Party pooper.
You're a serial thief. I don't know what the right word is. A serial shoplifter,
kleptomaniac.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about a person who puts hard work in and takes a day off after getting a promotion. Like, that'd be like him walking in and, you know, having stealing shit and being like, "Are you drinking one of my beers?" Like, are you fucking serious? Like, yeah, like this. And God, that's why I like Hank, but at the same time, I think he is terrified of Marie. Like when Skylar first kind of brings it up, he's like, "Yeah, we've kind of been working on it." I'm like, "Are you shitting me? Like, you're a cop and your wife is like stealing shit? Like, get a grip, man."
Well, that in itself, actually, that's a good point. I don't think we've talked about that. that in itself kind of tells me a lot about who Hank is behind closed doors, right? I mean, like that tells me
The bitch.
that Hank, yeah, no. Honestly, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. He's a lot more soft and malleable than he kind of like presents himself to be, which is really interesting. That's a good point.
Yeah, and then you look at someone like Walt, who's like very affectionate, and but then behind closed doors, like, I want you to put a bullet in his head, and you're like, a shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't tell me to relax. You know I hate that. Dave says I should express that. God
Jesus.
damn it. He goes too hard and breaks the bottle out of frustration. Right. Walt and Jesse meet out in the desert. God damn, man! Like the cinematography here in the desert sequences, I can't. Like the way the filter that they use just looks absolutely beautiful. Michael Slovis is a goddamn legend, man. The plan is to cook. What are we cooking when we can't even move what we can cook? Why are we cooking when we can't even move what we can cook? And they try and sort this out. Jesse's solo. He's got profile now. The DEA is up his ass, and he's not even going to take the risk. Yo, you've got bills? Walt says that he's got nothing left, nothing to show for all of this. They have two choices: go into business with another homicidal lunatic, or Jesse sells whatever he can. Jesse suggests a third way. They have to be Tuco, run their own game. You're going to what? Snort meth off a Bowie knife? What do you think about this? This is Jesse's idea. This is Jesse's idea to use his network for his own advantage. It's interesting to me that Walt isn't the one to think of this. Walt immediately jumps to, Jesse, you are the one responsible for this by yourself.
Right.
You go ahead and do this. What do you think about this? Because like Walt, I get kind of, sorry, Colin.
No, you're good. Go.
I kind of get why Walt is tenuous about this. You know, he's very hesitant to jump into this because bringing more people into this increases risk, right? Like, it really, like, you know, like the more people know about the operation, the more chance there is, you know, other people like the DEA will end up finding out. So it's interesting to me that Jesse is really, really pushing the network idea. What do you think of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's anything. It's like, look at a suit of armor. The spaces in between the armor is what they attack for. So if you are one person in one piece of armor, you are not connected to anything that they could get in between.
Damn. You and your fucking analogies.
That's right. It's
what
like,
the fuck?
You look
How
for,
do you think of that?
You
How do
look
you
for
think of a suit of armor?
There can be no weakest link if the link is you and one other person. You know, like maybe a little bit. One of you is less stressful, but if it's you by yourself, the less links you have, the more probability, or the less probability of there being something in there that's weak. And I think that, but especially, I think he has every right to be worried. Where it's like your dumbass friends or who are selling this shit. Like that's the one thing is like, this is cool, and it's just he's stepping up and be like, no, you cook, I sell. Like, this is not your territory. You need to like take a backseat. And I like him actually. Kind of, he's exactly right. But also at the same time, the people he employs are just morons. And it's like, there's something about this, like, mainly Badger. I don't know the other two all that well, but Badger seems like the one who like gets put in a interrogation room, and after 4 hours, he just cracks, you know, because he wants to go home. But there's something, it's a good idea, but the people that he has in his employ are just, you know, I think Walt would have a heart attack if he actually saw these guys be like, oh, Jesus Christ. He's like, I taught you. Like, one of them he recognizes, like, son of a bitch. But I like this scene a lot. It feels like From Dusk Till Dawn in an RV, like cinematography wise. It feels like this vampires are going to come out of the toilet or something. I don't know. It has a very like Robert Rodriguez From Dusk Till Dawn feel.
Salma Hayek's going to do a very sexy dance.
Yeah. It's Walt dressed up as Salma Hayek. Like, get out of here.
Oh, yes. I'd pay to see that. Walt's not willing to do that. Do what he's saying. He's not comfortable bringing in unknown entities. Jesse says he doesn't get to vote. Walt cooks and Jesse sells, right? This is interesting here because Walt concedes to that. He says,
he's like, shut up, bitch.
I will admit to a bit of learning curve. Which is
the understatement of the century.
Right, exactly. A massive understatement, absolutely. But something that we haven't really seen Walt do in probably ever, right? Admit that he's wrong. You know, like, this is an interesting moment for Walt and Jesse. Like, Jesse gives him an ultimatum. We do things my way or I walk. You need me more than I need you, Walt.
I said that in the season 1 wrap up, and I was like, and I think that Walt is the one who's pushing his luck here, because at the end of the day, you know, Jesse could cook. He probably will never be good as Walt, but Walter cannot do anything without Jesse. Yeah, better not go into Hank if you don't have Jesse. Yeah, like
absolutely,
you're fucked.
Well, it's interesting, yeah, because we get a shift in the power dynamic, right? I mean, like for a season and a half, we've seen Walt step all over Jesse, right? Like literally assert his dominance all over Jesse, you know.
But it's also
this
Jesse.
is the first time.
Right, getting kicked out of his house, like he has hit rock bottom, and now I think that I could see Jesse in the next episode. This version of Jesse in the next episode would be like, hey, here's my first 2 months rent, another 2 months behind it. Just as like he wants to do the right thing, he's getting smarter, and he still is an idiot, But if you take away that stupid little mustache and the beanie and stuff, like there's a intelligent person underneath there, like there really is. There's something. And there's so many guys like him I know from that I grew up with, like very intelligent people who just made dog shit decisions, man. It sucks.
Just confirming that mustache that looks like it was grown by a Chinese person that is so
right. It looks like it looks like fucking like Andrew Ryan from BioShock with cancer. Like his mustache is real like that.
That is a deep cut reference. I love it.
I was watching that Alex Trebek, like the thing where he's cussing and he's like, you can watch Jeopardy 24 hours a day. He's like, you don't watch it 24 hours a day, you dumb son of a bitch. But as I'm watching it, I was like, dude, Alex Trebek with like young Alex Trebek with black hair and the mustache would have been an amazing Andrew Ryan from BioShock.
Ryan?
He would be,
absolutely.
I can imagine. What does a man choose? Does a slave obey? And like I can imagine him reading the lines as Alex Trebek, and it's like he's got just a swagger, dude. I love it. Man, I miss him.
Yeah, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Jesse meets with his crew: Skinny Pete, Badger, and Combo. And Badger's just so like. Dude, like they go through this like kind of like apartment, right? Like Badger's just like it echoes, like plasma rocks it over LCD, blacks a deeper 2, porn in 3D, zero gravity chairs, feng shui yo. Oh, like these guys are just retarded. Like there is no other word for it, dude.
These guys are morons.
Yeah, dude, the ladies cream up real nice for candles and shit.
I'll tell you a quick story real quick. There's a guy who Badger reminds me of. I was in a band long time ago, and this guy had gotten a bass from one of our friends, and he didn't pay him for it. He was just taking it, and he was like making payments or something. And, basically he never ended up paying for it. So my friend wanted the bass back, and the shithead had pawned the bass. Pawned it, like not sold it, but pawned it, like had a lien on it and had to go pay, like basically had taken a bass and not paid for it and then put it in a pawn shop. So they had to get it. And this guy was just, we were trying to like shoot a music video and everybody came up with their part of the money but him. And I remember just being like, what is fucking wrong with you, dude? Like, what the hell is wrong? And like, Badger reminds me of that guy, and I loathe this person. There's something every time I see him, I'm like, you look like one of the things from fucking Ice Age, just with no fur, like like that goofy looking thing. I'm like, I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, man, and like that's the strength of this show, man. Like you were saying earlier, like Jesse reminds you of someone, like this guy Badger reminds you of someone. These are people that we know, right? Like these are people that we can literally probably walk up like outside the door, into whatever, like a shopping center or whatever, and bump into someone like this. Like it is just not like these are real characters. And this was, I think, one of the first shows that I saw that really did that for me. Like, I'd been watching shows like Lost, like Supernatural, like Prison Break at this time. So those characters introduced in those shows are kind of like larger than life. Like, like Lost, you have Kate, who is this, outlaw on the run, like from the police. Like she's
kind of unreachable. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Like, on paper and on TV, they are super interesting to watch because they're just so fictional. Right. Whereas like here, Vince Gilligan and company kind of like go the other way where it's like, we're going to make these characters so relatable and so like people that in real life that's going to be engaging. And it's going to usher in a whole new era of TV. And I love it, man. It's fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So Jesse proposes giving them each an ounce. They sell the ounce for $2,500. Jesse keeps the $2,000 and they keep the $500. No cutting it, no doing any bullshit to it. That's the deal. You know what's interesting to me, by the way? They want alternative refreshments, but Jesse shuts that shit down, right? Like she says, we do that shit on our own time because we're talking business here. I like this side of Jesse, dude. I actually do.
I love it.
It's fantastic. It's a little bit of Walt kind of rubbing off on him, right?
Right. Well, and I mean, it is kind of funny that he's like, here's a bowl of pretzels, some off-brand cola. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to my timeshare meeting. And it's like, like, come on, dude. Like, it's kind of good. Whereas he could just he's at least trying, even though it's just like off-brand Coke and pretzels or whatever. It's just like this rinky-dink empty apartment and stuff. He's still trying, though, because at the end of the day, he's like, I'm being my own boss. I'm taking control. I'm putting the initiative. And, I think even Walt said that in like season 1 or something. He's like, you could have been a really good student. He's like, but you just did not apply yourself. And
if
it's
you
like,
didn't apply yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing that come to fruition
when
is
he's
great.
looking at the report, right? Like the report that he says that Walt graded literally says, apply yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
This is what he's doing. Absolutely. Jesse makes what he makes, $2,000, no exceptions. It's really, again, interesting to see this side of Jesse, this manager, this salesman. This is the ground floor. How far you go is up to you. DBAA mofos, apply yourself. He gives the same advice that Walt did to Jesse.
Well, and I love so what is it? They're making $2,500 a piece off of them each week. So each one of those guys is making $500. $500 a week?
A week. Pretty low.
Yeah, that's pretty low. Like for what you're selling, that's a bit much.
Is it even a week? I think I don't even know there's that kind of like that much of a timeline, right? Like I think it's as soon as when you run out.
I think Jesse, didn't he say we just made like 15 grand in the last like 2 weeks? Or he says something like, you're making $6,000 a week, yo. Like he says something to him to that effect. But still, even if that's not at a week, at the least, that's still dog shit. $500.
Wait, hold on. $6,000 a week because it's 2,500 an ounce. So 2,000. Right. So they would stand if they made $6,000 a week. Then Badger, Combo, and Skinny Pete would make 1,500 a week.
Wait, what? No, because in 1 week, if so, each one of them has an ounce, right? And each one of those will make Walt and Jesse $2,000, 2, 4, 6. That's 3 in 1 week.
Right.
Which would be 500, 500, 500 to each one of them. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but it's 500 for 2K.
Which one of us has sold drugs before? That's what I'm asking you. Look at me in my eyes. No. What I'm saying.
I think I've got because if Jesse, hold on, we're gonna fucking sort this shit out. All right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. I wish we could have this live and have people weigh in. So if they're making $6,000 a week, correct?
Okay, but it's $6,000 each, right? So it's $12,000.
Oh yeah, so it's doubled up. Never mind. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that because he's like, so it'd be 2 each,
right? Exactly.
Which would be $1,000.
Yeah, but it's $500 per $2,000, right? So it's $3,000 each that they're making a week.
Well, because if they're making $6,000 a week and you times that times 2, so that means 2 ounces for Jesse, 2 ounces per guy, and they get 500. They'd be 1,000, right?
No, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. Hold on, wait. Okay, wait. Fuck you. We're putting this on pause. So Jesse keeps. Okay, so Jesse and Walt make $2,000, right? But at the end of the episode, when they make the handoff, Jesse says, "You're making $6,000 on this, right?" Which means $12,000, really, right?
Right.
Between Jesse and Walt. So if Jesse and Walt are getting $12,000, that means $3,000 for hold on. That means okay, hold on. Yeah, it is 1,000. Sorry. I'm like, dude. Oh god damn it. Yeah.
I love how much you hate being wrong, and I have it on air. I've just been sitting here just like, well, it's like if it's 12,000, that's 3 ounces a piece, or whatever, and you break it down like, and hey, I never really sold drugs in that quantity, but that is just like. That's harrowing. That's why I would be an awful drug dealer, because I'm over here like, well, if you carry the 4 and you subtract the
2. Dude, I am terrible at math. This is why I do law. But I think $1,000 a week's not bad. I mean,
that's a lot better than I thought. Yeah, because I was not doubling it, thinking of Jesse's half. That's what fucked me up.
Right. So I was partially right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and take the win wherever I can. The Whites pay a visit to the Schraders. Before exiting the car, Walt takes a quick look at the cigarette lighter in the car. Marie's worried about the cartels and their practices. She's not a fan of El Paso. Marie won't shut up, right? Like, she goes on about how she prefers Washington, D.C. and Georgetown and all this bullshit, man. Oh, like, she is overwhelming here, right? And, like, this might be her kind of, like, coping mechanism, right? Like, this might be her coping mechanism with dealing with the fact that Hank is not going to be around anymore, right? I mean, like that she strikes me as that kind of person, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's something about the whole just that insufferable. You know, it makes me think of Seinfeld when George goes off on that woman, and he's like, "It is your earrings, it's the chopsticks." You say papier mâché, and it's like that. She is just kind of pretentious and like insufferable, and I can't stand it. Like, ugh.
Yeah, and I love Hank's coping mechanism, right? Like he's just bombing shots.
Yeah, doing Irish car bombs. Like, hell yeah, I love Irish car bombs.
Good. Scarlet shots her up. I will not listen to one more word unless you apologize for lying about the shoplifting itself. Oh, wait, she doesn't say that. So that's my notes.
Yeah.
God damn it.
No, I like this scene a lot, though.
Yeah, this is great. Talk to me about this, actually. Hit me.
Yeah, I like Skyler in this because it's like, it's one of the few times in the show that I'm just like completely on board with Skyler, and I'm like, yes, like this is you are correct, sir. Like this is you are owed this for being like put in the middle of something like that. Like that's insane. You know, that's where her not letting her off the hook and just being like basically having her by the throat and being like, no, like you're not moving, like you're not going anywhere. I really dig it.
And how psychotic would you be, like would you need to be in Marie, that you would think that would just go away? Right? Like that it was just, people would just forget about it.
Oh
like,
yeah, I've got people in my family and, you know, old friends that would just be like, oh yeah, you know, that was like weeks ago. And it was like, dude, you took a shit in my car, you know, or something like, get the fuck out of here, you moron.
Right. Wait, what?
Yeah. I just thought the first thing that came to my head was take a shit in my car. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Marie apologizes and the two share a heartwarming reunion. Meanwhile, Hank tells Junior that the gory details of the shootout will keep him up at night. It was scary. Interesting. Because, like, Junior talks to him like he's talking to Batman, right? Like, he's so enamored by him. Kick ass, take names. This is nowhere near the same Hank that we saw at the start of the show, who is, you know, talking in front of a huge group of people about this arrest that he made. It's brilliant to me. I love this. I love this evolution of this character. Walt wants to know what Hank thinks about criminals and what makes them who they are. Buddy, you might as well ask me about the roaches. All I know is that there's a whole world of them out there.
And Hank is like 3 sheets to the wind, I feel like, too. Dude, like, he's hammered.
He is staring out into space, man. Like, he's looking at like an old piece of tumbleweed. Like, man, I could tell you about the horrors that I've seen. Like, you know, he's going down that route.
Right.
He is one step away from talking about the USS Indianapolis, man. Like, it is crazy. What do you think about Walt wanting to know what Hank thinks about criminals? Like, what do you make of that? That's interesting.
You know, yeah, I wonder. I feel like, as you know, my mind is like, what would be the cause for that? Of like, well, what do you think that you're actually after versus what I actually am, and how can I become the farthest thing from that, where you don't suspect me at all? But also, I think that as he's like, I am going to have to become Tuco. This is what I'm going to become. Like, so what is the mentality? Can I get any insider info into the people that might be my competition or people that might be my clients or my customers, you know? And it's like, I wonder if that was his ploy, or if it's also something like, how do I stay off the radar? Like, how do I not even show up on the radar? That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, good point. I agree with that. Montage of Jesse's crew selling the meth, all of these hiding places, counting money. Skinny Pete sells some of this meth to this wild methed out lady who pretends she saw a cop. Leads them to an ambush where he's robbed by a partner. Man, she looks like a witch. Like,
she looks god awful, but dude, let me tell you though, she can book it. Like Usain Bolt's like, goddamn, like she runs by and she's just fucking smoking him. But she looks like fucking The Taking of Deborah Logan, Evil Dead.
Yes,
like she looks like the thing in The Conjuring, Bathsheba on top of the wardrobe.
Yes,
she actually kind of like the nose and the chin and stuff. Like, yeah, which I think that's actually the red-faced demon too from Insidious. Like Joseph, I know the composer of Insidious is the guy in the red-faced demon, like the lipstick-faced demon. But I think it's the same.
The music composer, really?
The music. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna double check myself.
I love the music in those movies.
Oh, dude, like that crazy. But yeah, no, she looks. That was genuinely when I saw her running. She's, and I was like, okay,
Yes, for me,
This
it's the
is
laughing.
terrifying.
I'm glad you said that because the laughing she does in the hallway when Jesse gets caught like that.
Oh, oh,
That is frightening as all fuck, man.
that
Like
is
that is.
fucking terrifying, man. Like
Yeah,
that.
but this lady, like, I want to also commend the makeup that they do because obviously she
Yeah,
doesn't look like this. That woman has been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Iron Man 3, Hell or High Water, Palm Springs. Yeah,
damn.
Iron Man 3. She's in the. I believe she's in the bar. I might not be right about this, but I believe she's in the bar just before that woman chases him. They have that big ass like shootout. This is kind of like me recalling my memory, but yeah, she's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, not a spoiler. We will see a lot more of these two in the next episode.
Oh, cool. So they're like recurring Red Dead Redemption, like the Lemoyne Raiders.
I'm just gonna say we'll see him in the next episode. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Joseph Bashara, he is the actor, lipstick face demon. He's Bathsheba. He's Annabelle demon. Annabelle. He's in The Last Key. He's in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, he's done an insane amount of stuff for like composing Night of the Demons, VHS, Insidious 3, Tales of Halloween, Aquaman. Like Trench Engage.
I was
track
gonna
only.
say, did he do the music for Aquaman? Because that's James Wan as well, right? So,
And apparently he only did one track, but yeah, he did Curse of La Llorona, a bunch of shit like that.
okay, nice. Jesse and Walt meet again out in the desert. This is where Jesse will give Walt his half. Walt gives him shit about his car. I'm guessing this one doesn't bounce. Gives him $15,000. Walt's not happy, right? Help me understand the math. I give you £1, correct? You and I split 2,000 per ounce. 1,000 each. £1. That's 16 ounces. 16 ounces should net me 16,000. 16, not 15. He's such a fucking stick in the mud, man. I love it.
Well, part of it is like, yes, like, I mean, this is for what he's doing. He should absolutely receive maximum return on what he's doing. But at the same time, he does not understand that, like, there's a lot of people. We actually based the idea for a short film off of a true story of a guy I heard in Nashville. It's the only short film I ever made with like a buddy of mine. I don't know if you ever saw it, but basically a friend of mine in real life who, was buying Coke and selling Coke, this years ago. He was saying that his guy who he was buying from had his backpack on, had like $35,000 in cash in the backpack, and was meeting up with the guy to buy more Coke. And the guy, the way he parked, the guy was like, "Hey, do you mind moving your car real quick?" He goes, "Yeah." Takes his backpack off, puts it in the car. Guy shuts the door, locks it, and drives off. Now he has $35,000 and the cocaine he was supposed to buy.
Fucking
and it's
hell.
like getting robbed happens. It really happens. I also heard the reverse of that, where somebody stole all of the shit. So now you have a drug dealer that's like, "Where you owe me $35,000." Like,
yep.
like, dude, just kill yourself. Just fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
But there is something like, there is also like, I understand this will happen to some degree, but we need to minimize any kind of cracks in the infrastructure.
Well, this is interesting to me because, like, Jesse says this is called breakage, the cost of business, and this is not a spoiler at all. But this is a part. This is like something that Walt will never understand about the business.
Right? Yeah. There's something about that where again, it's the whole thing of not coming from that kind of world. Of not understanding the fact that, shit happens, shit gets lost. And it's like, you can't, even Walmart, even these big companies do not have 100% return.
So yeah, you're 100% right, because there is again, this is not a spoiler, because I've gotten so good at doing that. Not a spoiler, but Walt, we'll start seeing elements of breakage and things like that Walt just doesn't understand about this particular industry, but Jesse does, right? Like, Jesse does understand these things. There is something that happens in the final season. Dude, I'm not even kidding. The final season of the show that is introduced to Walt and is completely rational as part of like the business plan, like breakage, that it's just like, holy fuck, how do we not think of this? Like, that needs to be, quote, solved by Walt. Like, but Walt is continuously learning about the process and is continuously baffled by kind of like real world elements of the industry that they're in.
Well, it's like, wait a minute. Meth is illegal? It's like the last season. He's like, wait, what?
Right, exactly. So you're saying you got robbed and it doesn't matter. It seems that what you call breakage is really you making a fool of yourself. What happens when word gets out and it's open season? That's, by the way, that's actually not a bad point.
No, you have to set a precedent, but that is 100% correct. But at the same time, Walt is like, well, I'm on the outs at home. I'm going to go load up a revolver and shoot some meth heads, and it's like that's what it feels like. It's like the politician who just like strangles like homeless people and then goes home and acts like he's normal. Yes. I'm like, yeah, see, that's you're kind of. Shit's going wrong at home. She's like, I'll murder some people, whatever. It made me feel better.
Right. Incredibly out of touch. Absolutely. But this is Walt doing what Walt does, right? Like he's manipulating, right? Like he literally brings in Tuco. He says, Tuco wouldn't stand for this. Right. You said we need to be the new Tuco. Tuco's not going to stand for this. Walt gives Skylar some shit about paninis, right? I love that he checks where Junior is, anticipating that this conversation is going to get heated. Right, he's like, "Where's Junior?" And this starts a whole thing. Like, you should know where your son is. Goes and gets a cigarette packet. Perhaps I smoked them in a fugue state, says Skylar.
Well, see, that's one thing that's fucked up to me is the fact that, like, yeah, pretty sure she knows, he's lying about a second cell phone, but you don't know that if he's fucking lying about being in a fugue state or not. Like, for all intents and purposes, that was legitimate. Like, that seems kind of like I don't know. She'd be like, oh, I guess I did it. Oh, don't act like you got cancer about it. It's like her shit was just like, goddamn, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think she's incredibly skeptical about it. I don't know if she's outright accusing him of lying about the fugue state, but yeah. Both actors are absolutely top notch here, right? Like Anna Gunn really holds his own against Cranston. Walt says this is so unlike her, to which she says, "How would you know?" and storms out.
Low blow.
And yes, low blow. Hank's lying asleep at night, wakes up to banging noises that he assumes are gunshots. He quickly rolls out of bed, loads his gun, and discovers that his bottles are exploding in the garage. He nearly kills Marie, by the way. This is PTSD.
I'd fucking love if it was like a Family Guy when the people break in and Peter has a baseball bat. Meg's like, Dad, what's going on? I heard noises. Is somebody downstairs? And he knocks her in the face. Like, oh, sorry, Meg, you startled me. That's what I love. Hank unloads the whole clip, pulls out another clip, loads it, and it's just like, oh, Marie, sorry. Is that Marie?
You startled me. Gets on the phone and 911. Yeah, there's been an accident.
Yeah. My wife's.
Why did you reload?
My wife dissed my homebrew, my Schrader Brow.
Schrader Brow, yeah. Walt arrives at Jesse's place unannounced, right? Like, Jesse's so surprised.
Yeah, me too.
And he gives Jesse a gun and orders him to handle the breakage problem, right?
Whew. That's the insane thing too, is that
escalation.
Walt's brain immediately goes to kill that person, and it's like, well, actually, if you did something to where cut that motherfucker's arm off and let him go back out on the street and be like, well, this guy robbed a meth person last week and now he has no arm, and it's like I'm not saying that that's what. I'm saying if you wanted to set a goddamn precedent, just going around killing people, you got to maim some people, you got to make some freaks. No, I'm just kidding.
You got to do some fucking Scarface chainsawing in the bathtub shit. Right. But like, it's interesting to me that threshold for mistakes is just once, just once. And that is it. Like, that is it. I'm not even going to give this a second chance. I'm like, let's see how long, by the time you start handling things, or by the time you start handing people with guns and say, hey, deal with this, you don't even give it like a second chance. Like, oh, maybe this was like a one-off kind of thing, right? Like, Walt immediately assumes that this is going to be a regular thing and gives the gun to Jesse to start handling.
My thing,
right? So it's interesting to me that his threshold is so low for this kind of
thing.
And
my theory is to give it 2 weeks. Let's say everything gets repaired back at home. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And then you remind Walter that you gave somebody a loaded gun to kill somebody who was a thief. Yeah. And it's like, whoa, like that's like
perspective.
That's like hanging people for horse robbery. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I understand this is the world of meth. This isn't exactly regulated by the FDA, but it's like, come on, dude. That's, Jesus. And asking someone else to do it too is a crazy part.
Right, asking someone else to do it, and not only that, you're talking about actual
not in defense of your life.
Right, exactly, and $1,000. Like, you're talking about $1,000.
Right.
Like, hold on, me, sorry.
I'm just saying, chop some fingers off, maybe pop one of their eyes out and let them walk around look like Nick Fury. That'll get some attention.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, man. Let's wrap this up. This is our final scene. We get Hank out of the river, and he tosses Tuco's grill into the river. What do you think about
All I'm saying is, if you cut some people's tongues out and pull their teeth and let them walk around like that, like, what happened to you, Jamie? I told you, man. It's like just somebody with no teeth and no tongue. You got to get attention. That's all I'm saying. No one's going to miss this guy.
That got the point across.
Right.
That got the point across. But yeah, talk to me about Hank's final scene.
I like it. I think it was cool kind of seeing him, just want to get rid of that thing. It was a nice way to kind of cap it. I still think that weird opening is just not necessary. It's just not, it doesn't reveal anything big. It's like, okay, whatever. It just seems like you're kind of blowing smoke up your ass. But all in all, I enjoyed this episode a lot. I think this is interesting because not a lot happens like action wise, but it is definitely a lot of shit's popping. Marie, Skylar, Hank, Walt,
definitely a character study.
Yes, everybody's got something going on. We meet new characters, like we reintroduce characters we haven't seen since the first season. So there's a lot going on. A lot of it's like an 8-burner stovetop, just like pop, 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 pop. You can see all the flames, like everything's firing up at once. I was like, cool, I like that.
There's that classic Colin analogy,
right? It kind of just feels like everything locks in. It's like, and now everything's starting to move, and I'm like, cool, I dig that. I like that a lot.
Absolutely. And the introduction of Kristen Ritter's character Jane is a signal of things to come, right? Like it's a signal of things to come for Jesse, and potentially Walt, because this could potentially be very distracting for Jesse, right? Guys, thank you so much for joining us here in Bad Crystal. This has been a great episode, dude. A really good one to talk about. This is something we do on the podcast, on Minute Old Feature as well. I don't really choose, I try not to choose, big, kind of, swarthy action films. Like, I love talking about character study. I love, because, I think it kind of goes for both of us. We find this, so much more interesting to talk about, getting to know the characters that people have literally created out of thin air and wrote about on paper,
right? And
kind of seeing them fully realized on screen and just how effective they are and how effective they reflect actual real people that we might know. That is super interesting to me, and I think Breakage really, really highlights that of the show of Breaking Bad. So, do you have anything else to say before we head out of here, Colin?
No. Thanks for listening to our math problem rambling and shit like that. Other than that, this has been Bad Math, a shit-filled podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome. No, that is honestly the best way to close it out. Thank you so much for listening to us, guys. We will see you guys next week with episode 6 titled Peekaboo. Please stick around and follow us on our socials. Head to the after party, Midnight Oil Feature, at Midnight Oil Feature, midnightoilfeature.com, and please sign up to our Patreon, patreon.com/Midnight Oil Feature. Thank you so much for supporting us. We will see you guys next time. Thanks for sticking around.